Hello and welcome to Technology Learning Space YouTube channel. Thank you for all choosing this video. Myself, Mohammed Nias, I'm a technical guy. In this video, you are going to watch how to upgrade Hyper-V cluster 2012 R2 to 2016. We achieved this with the new Windows feature Cluster Operating Rolling Upgrade. As I said, it's a new feature in Windows 2016. This enables us to upgrade the operating system of each cluster nodes from Windows Server 2012 R2 to Windows Server 2016 without stopping Hyper-V workloads. Let us talk about the benefits of this feature. Using this feature, you don't need any downtime because during the upgrade you can move or fail over your workload to another nodes. It does not require any additional hardware. The cluster does not need to be stopped or restarted. No need of a new cluster here. The existing cluster is upgraded. In addition, existing cluster objects stored in Active Directory are used. The upgrade is reversible until you reach to the point of no return. It supports patching and maintenance also. Cluster functional level is a public property indicate the state of the cluster. A value of 8 indicate the cluster is running at Windows Server 2012 R2 and a value of 9 indicate the cluster is running at the Windows Server 2016. Just to inform you, you can upgrade cluster nodes to Windows Server 2016 through SCVMM also. When we talk about the requirements of upgrade, we start with a Windows Server 2012 R2 failover cluster. Verify your Hyper-V nodes have a CPU that support second level addressing table. Next is about the cluster transition state. In the beginning, I told you we upgrade without any interruption to the cluster. So in order to keep the workloads running, a new conceptual cluster mode is called Mixed OS mode. That is Mixed Operating System mode. In this cluster mode, nodes contain Windows Server 2012 R2 and Windows Server 2016. You can move your workloads from 2012 R2 to 2016 as it holds same functional level. The nodes are still compatible to run any VM workloads on any nodes during the Mixed OS mode. Let us dive into each state of the transition in this demo. To make it more clear, I just described it into 4 states of transition to the cluster node. In the initial, we have 3 nodes, all nodes running with the same operating system, Windows Server 2012 R2. You can see the cluster functional level also. In our demonstration, we have 3 nodes. Let us open Failover Cluster Manager. When you click on the cluster 1, go to nodes, you will see C1, C2 and C3. These 3 nodes are running the same operating system, Windows Server 2012 R2. The name of the operating system is showing in the summary. So these 3 are the part of the cluster called cluster 1, and this is the initial state. We have 3 disks, one is for the witness and other 2 disks are a part of cluster shared volume, and 2 network also are a part of the cluster. As you saw in the demo, the initial state is ready with the 3 nodes C1, C2 and C3. Now let us move to the second state. Here one of the 3 nodes have been paused, drained, evicted, reformatted and then install new Windows Server 2016 operating system. After installing the operating system, you need to configure storage, network. You want to add Hyper-V and failover cluster roles, then need to add to the cluster. I will show you all the steps which I said now. So in this state, you have one node in 2016 and all other nodes are in 2012 R2. So you can failover your workloads from 2012 R2 to 2016, and also you can failover from 2016 to 2012 also. keep an eye on the cluster functional level shown here, which is cluster functional level 8. In state 3, all nodes have been upgraded to Windows Server 2016 and the cluster is ready to move to the next functional level 9. Till this point, all the steps are reversible. Once you move to the cluster functional level 9, your cluster is ready to use all the new features of 2016 cluster. So let us start the demo. I will show you all the steps comes in the upgrade. In a cluster OS rolling upgrade, we remove one node at a time from the cluster. So you have to check and make sure about the capacity on the cluster to maintain high availability of your VM workloads. Backup cluster database. Your normal backup application should choose to treat the system as a cluster and can backup your configuration. And the same time, you can run a full backup of your workloads using your backup software. Check cluster aware update is running. Cluster aware update is a feature for failover cluster which automates the software updating process on clustered server while maintaining the availability. So before proceeding to post the node, you need to check the status of CAU in all nodes. For this, open PowerShell and run get-cau. So no updates running. You can disable this by running disable CAU cluster role also. So once you check the status of cluster aware updating, we can go and post node and then we can drain the roles. So this cluster aware updating, you need to run this in all the nodes, and if it needed, you can disable also by using the command which I told you before. So choose one of your node to upgrade to Windows Server 2016. Here I choose C3. So make sure there is no workloads running, and if there is any workloads, you can live migrate to another node. So here I can see there is a VM running, so I'm just migrating from C3 to the next node. Alright, the migration has completed. Let us go back to the nodes now and right click, pause and drain roles. Okay, now the status changed to post. So the next step is evict node from the cluster. So to evict the node, open failover cluster manager again, go to more actions and select evict. Click yes. Okay, it's done. Now you can see there is only C1 and C2 is there. After you remove the node from the cluster, install Windows Server 2016 on the same hardware. In-place upgrade is not encouraged. Insert new operating system CD, Windows Server 2016, and select Windows Server 2016 desktop experience. Proceed with the custom installation and go for a fresh installation here. To reduce the length of the video, I just skip some portions in this demonstration. So prepare the required network configuration, then join the server to domain. You can see here this machine is joined to the domain. That is the second thing. Third, configure the required storage and make sure that the lens are visible under the disk. Here the quorum disk and the other two CSV disks are available here. Next, add roles and proceed to install Hyper-V role and also the failover cluster. Select Hyper-V. Then in the features, select failover cluster also. Once the roles are installed, open Hyper-V Manager. Then connect to one of the neighbor node. Here when you check the virtual switch manager, you will see the required virtual switches. Here there is only one external switch called vSwitch1. So create the same vSwitch1 under node C3 also. vSwitch1 and apply. So after the clean operating system installation, we joined that server to the domain. Then we configured Hyper-V, storage, failover clustering, and also we completed the virtual network switch configuration also. So in the next step, we need to add this node to the cluster. Then we can migrate our workloads from C1 and C2 to C3. So to add this node to cluster, open failover cluster manager, right click and connect it to a cluster. Here the cluster name is cluster1. Click OK. Okay, there is two nodes C1 and C2 and one workload is running. Right click on nodes and click add nodes. Enter node name C3, click add. Next, as is a demonstration, I'm not going for any verification or additional cluster storage. Click finish. Now C3 is also a part of cluster 1. Now click on roles and try to migrate the workload in C1 to the newly added node C3. We can see the migration of VM1. Okay, now it's migrating and there is a continuous ping also there. Okay, now the ownership changed to C3. And this state is called mixed OS mode, which we have a 2016 node and also we have two 2012 R2 node. So continue these steps with the other nodes C1 and C2. Once C1, C2 and C3 all come to 2016, then we can update the cluster functional level from 8 to 9. So in the backend, I upgraded all operating system to 2016. C1, C2 and C3 are now in 2016. So the nodes are ready to upgrade the cluster functional level. To update the cluster functional level, open PowerShell and run the following command. Update cluster functional level. Yes to all. And to know the current cluster functional level, you can run the above command also. So we successfully upgraded all the cluster nodes from 2012 R2 to 2016, and we updated the cluster functional level from 8 to 9. Now the cluster is ready to work with the new Windows feature in 2016. So we finished. It's time to say thank you. For more videos, please subscribe Tech Space YouTube channel, and you can blog niasitpro.com. Thank you once again.